Evening everyone. Oh my goodness, I'm having a late day today. Everywhere I've been has been late. Do you ever have one of those days where you just, nothing lines up and you just, the whole day you spend rushing? Right, I'm going to do some checks. Let me see how I do this. I think some people missed last night because I'm live in the event and not on my page. So head over to the event. What we on today? So we are doing low mood and sadness. Oh, let's put that out there. So anybody jumping on? Hello, hello, hello. Stupidly late. 17 minutes past 9, that's so late. But I'm here. We can go live. You can catch up. Yep, I'm there. I'll just see if we can get some reminders out. There we go. See if we can have some people join us this evening. Come say hello if you join us. If you are, same as always, I'm sure you hear it everywhere, anything you join. If you are coming, if you're joining us or watching this later on, if you hashtag replay, it will be lovely to hear from you. I think I've done all I can from my end. And we will get started. There we are. Yay! I'll pop in there. Hello to everyone. Come and say hi. Okay, so we're going to get started. Hopefully, we've only been on 2 minutes, so hopefully we'll start having some people drop in. Bed. No, yeah, I know there's not much I can do right now. So hopefully people will catch up with this. Let's get cracking. Okay, so we are talking about low mood and sadness. Look at me being all organised again. Keep me on track. I think it worked really well last time. So how to know when it's more than a bad day. So why does this matter? Because you will see their mental health drop before they do. You know your kids, you know, and don't let any professional make you think or know or feel like you don't know your kids, because you do know your kids. So you'll notice things changing a lot sooner than they even will, because the chances are they will just be responding. Okay, so if they seem off, and this is out of character, and the stuff we're talking about is not they have a bad day or they have a bad week. This is sort of prolonged periods of time where you know you're getting concerned about them. They're tired, uninterested, or just not themselves. Bad moods do happen, bad days do happen, tough times do happen, but this is more. Okay, so we'll go through some ways of how you can recognize the difference between that low mood, depression, or whether it is just a bad day. Okay, so signs of low mood in younger kids. So again, 5 to 10 years. So they're less interested in playing. So their sort of favourite activities, or they avoid doing it. So this might be they always used to go and play football, but they're just not interested anymore. They had a favourite computer game they were playing on, and they've just dropped that and don't really go on the computer anymore. You know, it's something quite uncharacteristic for them. They may be really irritable. Now again, I mean, this is 5 to 10. I mean, you may start getting the teenage kind of hormones starting going, but generally, you know the reasons why they're irritable, or you know the reasons why they're crying, or they're getting upset more easily. But if you're not sure, if it's prolonged, then it's time to, you know, start investigating. That they're tired all the time, even if they seem to be getting enough sleep. And there's some physical complaints, you know, they might have headaches, the famous one, I've got a tummy ache, all of this. They're normally cues, and the reason why they use those is because they don't know. They can't articulate, they can't tell you that, you know, they've got a heavy feeling in the heart, you know, all these sorts of things. For preteens, teenagers, so this is 11 to 18-year-olds, so they withdraw from friends and family, they hide up in the bedroom, they have low energy, they're unmotivated, they're struggling with schoolwork. You notice in the language they're using, it's really negative self-talk. Well, it don't matter, I'll never be able to do that anyway. You know, that sort of language. Well, no one will be interested because they all think I'm an idiot. You know, it's that really self-battery kind of language when they didn't used to do that. Changes in sleep and appetite. So eating too much or eating too little. Those are signs as well. But again, they may just be growing. So it's not a case of jumping on everything. It's just bringing your awareness to stuff. If you've got 3 of these that are all coinciding, then maybe it's time to use some of the techniques we've got coming up. If you've got any kids that you have noticed are doing these things, I can let you know 3 ways to help you with their moods. So, number 1. So, things what not to say. Oh, you're fine, just get on with it. Cheer up. It's not that bad. Now, we don't validate their feelings by saying that. Like I said in the last live, these kids are experiencing these things for the first time. It is that bad for them. They can't just cheer up. They haven't got the tools and the skills to do that. You're not born with that. That's something that you have to learn. And you can either learn it by having your parent in front of you that helps guide you and supports you through this learning, or you learn the hard way and it hurts. And then you manage to dig yourself out of that hole. Saying you're fine, it's in our adult heads and our adult experience, it probably is. We know the outcomes. We know that fallouts happen at school. We know schoolwork is tough. We know they'll survive it, but that's not how they feel in the moment. Yeah? This is the first time they've done it. Give them a break. So what to say? Name it for them. I see you feeling low. How can I help? What's on your mind? If you're not ready to talk yet, that's fine, but I'm here when you are. If you don't want to talk, if you want to write a letter or a text, that's fine. I think we've just had someone jump on, but I can't see any names or anything, so if you're here, hello, thank you for joining me. We're talking about low mood and sadness. So we've just got to sort of 3 ways to help your kids through it. So start, allowing them the space to kind of explore these things by themselves, but with your support. You know, don't ask them open questions. Be curious. Don't just presume that you know. You probably do. It's our secret. But let them be supported and guided through this experience for the first time. Give them permission to feel. They're allowed to feel. They're allowed to feel uncomfortable under the skin. But help them to understand what that's like and what it feels like. And you could say things like, you know, where are you feeling this right now? You know, what temperature is it? You know, just to help them think about that spot and where it's feeling. Don't attempt to quick fix it. Let them go through it. Because if you were just like, nope, stop crying, we don't do that here, that's something that they'll go into adult hearing that voice. Like, you've got to be really conscious as a parent of what you say to your kids becomes their inner voice. So if you're belittling or you're, let's put it in the right way, if you don't help them to validate the feelings, if you are dismissive because you've been there, done that, that can lead to, you know, children turn into adults that don't stand up for themselves, that don't get the right jobs, that, you know, all of these other things. Now, I'm not suggesting that you never say no, and I'm not suggesting that you don't have the right sort of punishment in place or consequences, but just choose your battles. If this is them dealing with low mood and sadness, having a go, or telling them to be strong and sort it out, or stopping them from feeling it, this isn't the time to do it. Okay. So the next thing is to create small moments of joy, or glimmers that I've heard them called, which is really cute. So for younger kids, you might have something like a feel-good jar, so they can draw pictures of things that felt good during the day, or write down. And also what you could do is you could maybe have things in there that make them feel good, like sitting playing with mum for half an hour with the Lego, or helping dad in the garden, you know, and then they can pick them out. So have some things that you know is that moment with your kids. Movement and play, dancing, walking, or play outside to boost mood naturally. Easier than it sounds, I know. I mean, this is for younger kids, so I'm hoping that you are able to get them out and take them to places, even if it's to the park, or just a walk around the block, or play in whatever space you've got local to you, or in your back gardens. But just having that movement time is really great for them. You know, when we had COVID, everyone was doing Joe Wicks, weren't we? But how many people out there are still doing the kids Joe Wicks? Is he even doing it? But anyway, well done, those get kept up with him. I think that lasted 5 minutes. Okay, so for pre-teens and teens. So it is slightly different with them, because some of these things occur naturally because they're teenagers, and because of the hormones, and because of the brain pruning and all the bad stuff. You remember, you was there. So for pre-teens and teens, you really want to do low pressure connection time. Sitting with them, doing an activity together. And what I mean by that is, if they're watching YouTube, if they've got a favourite YouTuber, you watch it with them. This isn't about you dragging them out of their space into your world. This is about you joining them in theirs. The best thing I ever did with my kids is say, teach me how to play that game. And sat watching with them on YouTube. I got quite into one of the YouTubers. It was quite new. I mean, my kids are, I say kids, they're in their 20s now, so my adult children, it was all quite newish, so there was some good stuff on there. Not too sure now. But yeah, join them in their world, whatever they're doing, whatever they're engaging in. You know, let you join them in there. That's one of the best times when I was working therapeutically with young people. We would go into public spaces to do teaching, training, some of the therapeutic work. And the best conversation was in the car, because we were sat next to each other. I was somewhat distracted, obviously driving, and they didn't felt the pressure of me looking at them. And sometimes they would just get everything out in the drive there, and usually more likely was we'd been and done the training, done the work that we had to do. My things just typed hello fresh, what have I leaned on? But they felt safe because I wasn't like, come on then, what's wrong with you? It was a completely different layout. So get out and have a drive with them. You know, the pressure's gone. Have a sing song with them in the car, you know, whatever you do. And then it's all about taking tiny steps forward for them. You know, encourage them, help them out. You know, I know it's a pain being taxi drivers, or, you know, getting them on the bus, or however you do your transport. But a lot, you know, helping them to do that could just make all the difference for them getting out, and just understanding how they connect with their friends. If their friends are on the phone or their friends are on the computer games, just understanding that is their social time. So it's about working with them and say, okay, so you know, you've got your homework first, then it's social time. You know, it's coming up with a plan between you both. But if it's something that they've been withdrawn from entirely, then it's about trying to encourage them. Come on, will you show me how to do this? And it just sparks that little bit going again. So it's really small, encouraging steps. Go at their pace. I had one young girl who's had quite severe low mood, and sometimes she just wanted to go and sit in the kitchen while her mum was cooking tea. She didn't want to have a conversation. She just wanted to be around her mum and not on her own. So they came up with the idea of sending an emoji. So the young lady would send, I can't remember what it was, some sort of an emoji that she wouldn't normally use. And then she would go into the kitchen, and mum knew not to ask any questions, not to ask how her day was, just say, "Hi, love," and let her sit and watch her wash up or join in, and that really helps the young person come down and feel connected to her mum and feel validated and feel safe, and like she wasn't going to be, you know, finger pointing at her. It was a great thing to have. Incorporate phone stuff. I know it's a pain, and I know there's so much going out there. I had this conversation recently that I had a lot of trouble with my daughter on the phone. Instagram specifically, it was a bit horrendous. She had 15 accounts at one time. The best thing I did was got in touch with my phone and internet provider. So I was obviously paying the bill for a mobile, and I went direct to them, and they were able to do lots of stuff at their end. So if you are a parent who's struggling with that at the moment, get in touch with your phone's providers. They've heard it all before, and they will try and help you the best way. And also, it's at the source. The next thing I used to do was internet went off. I went to bed with my internet thing, whatever they're called. Slept under my pillow with me. What can you do? Okay, so the third one, see, this is where I go off on a tangent. Keeping routines and watching for patterns. Yeah? So the reason why, and I did mention this in my other video yesterday as well, the reason why is low mood feeds off unpredictability. Get your routines going, get your bedtimes going, get your meal times going, get your clubs the same time. We go and meet grandma on a Thursday afternoon. We go and do that on a Monday. Tuesday night's a chill night. However your family works, settle back into your routines. If it's got a bit chaotic and a lot going on, especially if the kids are going through exams or they're transitioning from primary to high school, they are really chaotic times for young people and children. Make sure home is predictable, it's consistent, it's safe. And I'm not suggesting that you don't have fun and you do say, shall we go do this today? That is completely allowed, but those normal routines, try and keep them as consistent as possible, especially if everything else is going up and down. So the big one that we used to do with IAPS when I was working at CAMHS was if sadness, I'd say 3 of those symptoms we used to look at. If the clients took 3 of those symptoms and it had lasted for more than 2 weeks, or they talk about hopelessness, then please do reach out, seek support. If it goes any further than that and they start talking about harm, then that's the time to get in touch with your doctors. If it goes further than that again and there is actual self-harm there, I would recommend doctors, and if you don't feel like that is getting you anywhere, straight to A&E. There is, I hate to say it, but waiting lists, especially through the NHS, but they can give you some guidelines. So things such as getting rid of all the sharps, getting them in a lockbox, no access whatsoever. Yes, household scissors, razors, pins, potato peelers, anything that could potentially be used. Work out a safety plan with your child. So if they are feeling that low that they want to hurt themselves, what can you do? Like that young person, she would send an emoji and she would go and sit with mum rather than hurt herself. But it had to be no pressure, no questions, no, and that's what she had to stick to. Mum had to agree to that and stick to that. Otherwise, the safety wouldn't have been there. Make sure you have cleaning stuff. Generally, they do clean pretty well afterwards. They do look after themselves, which seems quite bizarre in our heads that when they've just done something like that. And there's other techniques you can try. Holding ice cubes. I've seen some really effective ones where they've sort of drawn on themselves instead of hurting. And also snap bands. Now, these are all just little things. You still need to go and get support, help, and there's loads of free training out there. And be happy to have a chat with anyone if you want to jump in the DMs. If anything we've talked about is affecting you at the minute, or you just need a chat. But my first protocol would be your doctors for medical advice, just to get the ball rolling, registered. My next would be get to A&E if you are really concerned about what's going on. Okay, we got a bit deep and heavy there, but I hope that was okay. My biggest advice, my biggest takeaway is be curious with them, be there for them. Don't presume you know all the answers, and even if you think you do, check in with them. Is that actually how they're feeling? And I'll probably say it a lot more times, this is the first time they're having this. Yeah? They're not sure what this body they're in at the minute can do, how it feels going through, processing things, what it feels like, what it does, how it happens. Try and remember that. It's like learners on the road. You don't go up the backside. You don't, well, some people might, but you don't beep at them, flash at them. You understand that they're learning. Think of your teenagers, think of your kids as having a big L plate on the back. Yeah? And if you're struggling with that, then come and talk to me. Come and talk to someone that can help you manage those, because that's you and not them. Okay? Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to have a think about these lives because people don't seem to be finding me on the event. So I might just go live onto my normal Facebook page. But have a great evening. Speak to you all soon. Bye.